Eyes are about to pop out of his head. These guys are primed for a big performance.
Well, they're out in the field now, so their nerves will be much calmed down now. This is it. We're ready to play. This is what we've been waiting all season for.
And listen to this roar. Now, Andrew Ettinghausen, he's waited 15 years for this moment. This is what Andrew Ettinghausen's career comes down to. How he feels about his performance over all that great time he's played the game will hinge on the result from this. Okay, that was the fireworks. Now wait for the war. Combat is about to begin as to call the inaugural Telstra Cup Grand Final. Gary Freeman, Peter Jackson, Wally Lewis and Greg Clark.
Thank you, Cameron. Good evening, everyone. Well, the heavens may have opened up over the capital of the Sunshine State only an hour or so ago, but let me tell you, folks, it has not dampened the enthusiasm here at ANZ Stadium. What an atmosphere, and it's only just about to begin. The Brisbane lineup for the inaugural Telstra Cup Grand Final. You will see that Webke's been moved from the bench into the forward pack, along with G. He has moved from the front row, the prop position into hooker. That means that Plath goes back to the interchange. Lockyer, De Vere, Renoff, Mundine, Saylor, Walters, Langer, all superstars. Thorne, G, Webke, Tallis, Ryan and Smith. Plath and Carroll, the coach of the year, Wayne Bennett. What a lineup for the Brisbane Broncos. The Sharkies, the first team from Sydney that's had to travel away to win a grand final in the history of the game. Peachy, Rogers, Ettinghausen, the captain, Richardson, Bell, Healy and Green, Lee, Treaster, Stevens, Greenhill and McKenna, two former Queenslanders back home. Nikau, the big Kiwi in the back of the scrum. Ryan and Davidson on the bench. And the coach, former Brisbane's man, John Lang. Tallis, the human cannonball, all fired up here for the Brisbane Broncos. They've won their last 17 matches on this ground, the ANZ Stadium. Grand final victories in 92 and 93. They still have plenty of grand final experience, leftovers from those two victories. And Alan Langer, the captain, said it's a similar mood in the camp, similar to 92 and 93. The Cronulla Sharks, runners up in 73 to Manly, 78 to Manly. Bounced back from that major semi-final loss to Brisbane to shut out Canberra 10-4 last week. Desperate for another crack at the Broncos. They've already beaten Brisbane once in 1997. Can they do it again? Wally Lewis, you were there when Brisbane entered the competition in 88, taking on Manly. That bring back some great memories for you, and a pleasure for you to see a grand final in your hometown at long last.
Yeah, it's taken a long time, there's no doubt about that. Brisbane had the opportunity to go to Sydney. Took them 5 years to get into a grand final. They were victorious, grabbed a couple in a row. There's a touch of irony about matches like this. Wayne Bennett's coaching debut in the Sydney, or the national competition, was against Cronulla. It was for the Canberra Raiders in 1987, and Bennett's boys won that game 19 points to 2. But when Bennett took over the Broncos, they had 6 straight wins. They then came up against Cronulla a fortnight later, and their first major thrashing was at the hands of Cronulla. So he's a guy that always has respected them, and he knows that if they're going to get out there today and come away with that wonderful cup, they're going to have to play to the best of their ability.
Gary Freeman, you were with the Balmain Tigers in a grand final appearance on a couple of occasions. I bet you'd like to be out there as well.
Oh, just like Wally, I'd love to be out there as the kickoff is taken there by Lockyer. I'll tell you what, this crowd, they'll be rising to their feet as Greenhill takes the ball forward, Greg Clark.
Yes, it all started back in March. 10 teams were hopeful. Now we're down to 2. the inaugural Telstra Cup Grand Final. Two tribes going to war, let me tell you. And the Ox, he's big and tough. Danny Lee, the boy from Lismore, the veteran, along with Les Davidson in the forward pack. Now it's Stevens, who's been one of the form horses, especially in the final series. Nikau, he's been to Wembley playing in front of 90,000 people for Castleford. He says this is a dream come true for him tonight. McKenna, the former Brisbane Bronco, a wooden spooner last year with the South Queensland Crushers. Now he's going for gold with Cronulla. They put it through the backs now. The general kicker, Mitch Healy. The bounce is good for Wendell Saylor, 20 metres out from his own line. First touch of the ball for the Brisbane Broncos, and the home crowd goes wild. 55 to 60,000 people here tonight. Biggest crowd of the season. The biggest match of the year for these players. The Broncos 10 from halfway.
Very interesting to see Brisbane taking no chances. The first two rucks going straight from dummy half, just a one-out pass. Bennett obviously told his boys, take no chances, make sure our first set of six comes with no mistakes, and kick the ball deep in and put pressure on your opponents.
Walters at dummy half. Webke. And Shane Webke, named earlier on the interchange bench, but he starts tonight. Lockyer. Peachy is well positioned and gets a pretty good bounce. Peter Jackson is sidelined tonight for Fox Sports. Jacko, I hope you can hear me. This crowd is electrifying.
Oh, it's unbelievable down here, Greg, and I tell you what, I'd give my left arm, in fact, I'd give both arms for playing there tonight. These guys, this is going to be one of the most incredible experiences, not only in their football careers, but in their lives. Cronulla up against Brisbane in what is going to be an unbelievable game of rugby league.
0 all the score.
Well, already there's been an injury for Cronulla as well, which has got to be a little bit disturbing. One of the players getting to his feet a couple of times and falling, copping a fair bump to the melon.
I think you'll find it's Matty Rogers, Wally, and he's one of the form players. And of course their goal kicker, there's trainers going out to him now. He looks like he's in a bit of bother.
So we'll keep an eye on Matt Rogers as the Sharks play it on the halfway mark and they go wide. Healy with the kick again. Low trajectory. And the bounce is good for Darren Lockyer, the most improved footballer in the game. In fact, Steve Brenoff says he's the best footballer in the world in 1997. That's a big rap, and Jacko Rogers seems to be okay.
Yeah, he's coming back to his position now. He shook his head. The trainers have given him a drink of water. He'll be okay. They need him out there if they're going to win this game. Matty Rogers, he's been the start for this Cronulla side in the semi-final series.
Playing for his father as well, the great Steve Rogers. Two losing grand final appearances in 73 and 78, and also in the replay in 78. The Broncos! Rogers was there. The ball went loose. It's a penalty.
Off. In front of him. Ball was thrown that way. Off their hands. No, mate. Ball went over that way. Didn't play at it.
Well, there it comes. It looked like they were half an opportunity to be able to post the first points. Renoff trying to keep the movement going. It really did look to me, though, as if Rogers was the man that belted the ball backwards. It should have been play on.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Wally. I think Rogers did get a hand to the ball there, and it should have been play on for Mundine, who picked that ball up for Brisbane.
And he should have been off the field probably 2 minutes before. His head is pouring blood out the side. He shouldn't be on there.
Now it's Danny Lee settling it down for the Cronulla Sharks. They need to get away to a good start. And so far, so good for them. McKenna down the short side. 26 metres out from the Broncos line. Teresa at dummy half. It's Green now. Nikau flying onto it. Gets the pass out to Greenhill. And he's inside the red zone. Right in front of the uprights. Great position now for the Cronulla Sharks. Healy bringing them on the inside. It's Bell. The Brisbane defence holding though. Stevens takes them on. A couple of metres out, and the final tackle. Looking for the first points in the 97 grand final. There's the bomb. Not a bad one. Peachy's there, and so is Saylor.
I'll tell you what he's been doing practice with about that, all of their training sessions. Bennett has had a little bit of a worry about the way he handles that high kick, but he positioned himself perfectly, made sure that he had the man behind him that couldn't get any possession of the ball without actually having to run through his body.
Well, I'll tell you what, with the ball...
Yes, it's Smith. Darren Smith. He's only got Peachy to beat. Smith loses his footing as Peachy comes to him. Great break, though, from the lock forward for the Broncos, and now they're on a roll. Big line-up out to the left. They go wide. Lockie is up from fullback. Tellis is there. Tellis 6 metres out. Run off at dummy half. Offloads to Lockyer, a little flat-footed. The Cronulla defensive line regathers their position. Inside pass now. Ryan! They can't control the football and Cronulla come up with it.
Well, this is what Cronulla did last time they played up North Queensland. They started to sprint out at Alfred. He turns the ball back inside as Rogers makes a good break 25 metres out. They turn the ball back inside and they lose their cover defence. They've just got to hang at the marker. Oh, great tackle.
Well, that was a shot and a half, wasn't it? As you see the Broncos boys congratulating each other, and so they should. It's mistakes like that that really turn the course of football games. These ones, as impressive they are with the importance they carry, one tackle can be the difference between success or failure in a season.
Shane Webb, he was the man, Wally. He's a tough country boy from out western Queensland, and he put a massive big hit on Danny Lee. Here they go through Mundine.
Mundine has taken 20 metres out from the Cronulla Sharks line. Straight ahead, it's now Smith, and there's another big hit. Stevens launched himself at him, drove him back, and they're 15 metres out. Harrigan says, come on, let's play the football. Now the penalty goes to the Broncos.
Go away.
Well, Billy Harrigan.
Darren. He was all over you, but I wanted to quick play the ball so he could get on with it. Don't push him back. Yeah, I know, but don't shove him back. Okay, having a shot, fellas.
You see Billy Harrigan saying, sorry, Wally said you pushed them. You should have just got up and played the ball. But I tell you what, it's lucky the penalty didn't go the other way because he did throw the first one. I can't believe that.
That's right, he
should have
sure
just
did.
played on.
But I tell you what, he's a teasing little thing, Langer. He stood there, looked like he was going to take a quick tap. There was the big shot that pushed him straight back. He did extremely well, maybe he got one back. I suppose he started it and deserved it, that he was going to wear one. But Langer just moved up, pretended he was going to take the tap. Half a dozen Cronulla blokes started 2 or 3 times with false starts, and Alf must have whispered out the side to the referee, we're taking 2, sir, I'm only having a rest here.
Darren Lockyer as the pace slows. And Rogers off to the sideline for some quick repairs. 0-0 the score. First shot at goal coming up for Lockyer. His 51st first-grade match. 158 points so far in the season. It's there! The Broncos are on the board in the inaugural Telstra Cup Grand Final. Darren Lockyer puts them 2-0 in front.
Well, a similar thing happened a couple of weeks ago. Lockyer did have a shot at North Queensland. He managed to come up with a miss that time, and they end up running about 3 or 4 tries very, very quickly. As we saw Rogers going to the doctor again. I think he's got a bad cut inside the mouth, so we'll have to try and get that fixed at half-time.
Yeah, he's got a cut inside the mouth, Wiz, and he's also got one on the back of his head. So he's got 2 cuts, one in his mouth, one on the back of his head. So I'd say he'll require treatment right throughout this match. Otherwise, he'll be going to the blood bin every 5 minutes.
And they cannot afford that. Now it is Cronulla inside their red zone. Greenhill plays it, looking for runners and finding them. It's been a torrid battle up front. Stevens, he plays it back and darting out of dummy half now is Trista. 3 Bronco defenders wrap him up. Peachy at dummy half to Green. Keeley, McKenna out wide, loses the football. Another unforced error. You cannot afford to give Brisbane field position like this.
Well, this is what happened. Like I said, a couple of weeks ago, they come up with mistakes. But Wendell Saylor could have been penalised. He stepped over the player to try and play the ball, and Cronulla had 3 markers. They've really got to settle down and get some sort of line of defence.
Lockyer, back to Saylor. He was on the bench when Brisbane last won a grand final in '93. Delighted to finally get some grand final action tonight. Tallis sat out all of 1996 and missed St George's grand final appearance last year.
Well, they really haven't done too much with that set of 3 or 4 tackles they did. Very important they get good field position on this next ruck.
This is Smith, and he loses the football. It's over the sideline on the far side. So Cronulla's scrambling defence survives again. Smith not able to control the football.
Oh, what about the great tackle by Bell, though? That's tremendous work there by the winger. He comes off his wing there, comes into Smith. If he had just put the ball at De Vere, you saw come back inside. If he stayed on the outside, I'm sure he could have scored a try in the corner there for Brisbane.
Well, it's a let-off for the Sharks, but they're still parked inside their own 20. And then they're quite a bit so far in this match. Greenhill. Queensland representative in recent years. A good strong run. Stevens.
Sorry, Clucky. Be interesting to see Davidson and Ryan when they will be injected into this game. As Tawuri Nikau makes a big little bus up to the 40-metre line.
Danny Lee allowed to offload. Treaster. And he had Langer and also Webke right on top of him. Green hurried the kick in. And De Vere picks it up 20 out from his own line. So now it's Brisbane. 20 from halfway. They go wide to Wendell Saylor. Can't get past Eddingshausen. G. Almost to halfway. Centre field. Brad Thorne. Langer. They didn't move up on the halfback. And they threw him into the turf. Tallis didn't like the treatment handed out to his little skipper. And neither did the referee.
He ducked back. It's only a penalty, but you've got to get him down.
The penalty goes to the Brisbane Broncos.
Just a clip over the lugs.
He's taking a dive out. There's nothing surer.
I think he's at his shoulder blade, Jacko.
Well, they're 20 metres out and they lead by 2 points to 0. The Broncos.
Even in a grand final in front of 60,000 people, he's still G'ing blokes up.
Now it's G. In fact, it's Webke right in front of the uprights. Langer. Langer on his own. Thought he spotted a gap. Danny Lee soon closed it. Options either side. Kevy Walters a dummy half tonight. Lockyer. The inside pass to Tallis. For a moment, the crowd thought he was through.
And they've got what they want now. They've got the two halves standing in a defensive line out wide.
The kick was not a good one. It went straight into the arms of David Peachey. And again, Cronulla have it inside their own 10.
Yeah, just mentioning that what they try and do, Brisbane, is try and align the Cronulla halves in the one spot. If they get them side by side, they feel a little bit of advantage. Mitch Healy and Paul Green, both smaller men. They like to run their bigger players at them. They believe they have a definite advantage if they can run at that area.
To the short side they go.
I think you'll find Paul Green's probably got the worst defensive record in the Cronulla side, Wally.
The one man that is great on defence is Les Davidson. He's out there. And there's some treatment handed out to the Cronulla Sharks. Sean Ryan also out there. So Jacko, Johnny Lang has made the first of the changes, and this is Ryan after he got the play on call. Another big tackle.
What about G? He's just come straight over the top.
Green just trying to get out of their own half, and the kick was okay, but Lockie was in good position again. The chase from Davidson was good. Also Green. Lockyer plays a 10 from halfway. Langer. He goes wide. Up over halfway. Brad Thorne to play it. G. Just one out stuff, but they're making some metres. Just setting themselves. Walters a dummy half. Can't get away from Ryan. Mundine. Jinking. That's a 30-metre mark. Final tackle on the way for the Brisbane Broncos. They lead by 2 points to 0. There's the kick. The chase is not a good one, and really Peachey was in perfect position again.
He certainly was, as Peachey goes for another burst out, trying to get outside Wendell Saylor. But Alfie, if you're throwing the ball out too wide, there's another opportunity there for Brisbane, because Paul Green shooting out the line as Rogers goes for a dart, shooting out the line, trying to knock Alfie over.
Hold him down.
Well, Harrigan just trying to clean up the play the balls, holding down there. The pace has been a cracker. Fatigue might be setting in just a little bit.
I think Cronulla can feel pretty confident. They've repelled Brisbane now for about 5 or 10 minutes. They've had 4 or 5 sets of 6 down their end of the field, and they haven't succumbed. Brisbane have hardly made a break. I think they'll get some confidence from that, get down the other end of the field and try and put some points on.
Brisbane pretty much unbackable at 4-1 on. Bit of 5-2 about Cronulla yesterday, 2-1 today, I think. Now it's Davidson. 14 seasons in first grade, his first grand final appearance, 34 years of age. Do you think he wants to win tonight? Now it's Greenhill. Stopped in his tracks. But they're inside Brisbane territory with the football. First time for quite some time. Nikau, a short pass. Nikau, dummy half again to Green. Healy. This is out. Eddinghausen bring Peachy in from fullback. The inside pass to Richardson. Desperate defence from Brisbane on that occasion. But still good field position for Cronulla. Nikau trying to get on the outside. Got the inside pass going though to Treaster. He's 10 metres out. Thrown into the turf. Rogers a dummy half. Here's the kick from Green across field. Pressure on De Vere over there. The Sharkies move for it. It's lying loose on the ground. It's been hit over the dead ball line.
The referee asking whether it came off a Cronulla player. Given the information from the touch judge. Just checking sure because it was a lottery. That ball put into the group there. It was anybody's to decide whether it was actually knocked on by Cronulla. But now Brisbane still under pressure. I think we were listening to a couple of moments ago talking about how much pressure and confidence the Cronulla guys had and how much confidence they would have got coming from the other end of the field from Jacko. They've got twice as much at the moment. They know that they've got Brisbane struggling.
Just quickly, one thing they are doing, Cronulla doing so well, they are playing straight back at Renouf and making him make more tackles in the first 15 to 20 minutes of this game than he's made in a whole game of football.
Now it's Green. Got it out to Greenhill. Ryan a dummy half. Charging onto it is Davidson. They didn't move up on him. Some good metres there from the interchange player. Green having a go on his own. Can't get away from Ryan though. Ryan was around the legs, G over the top. Eddinghausen as they go to the left. And Nikau is out wide. He throws the dummy. Final tackle coming up for the Sharks. Down by 2 points to 0. Healy with the bomb. Pressure on Sailor. Rogers goes high. Couldn't control it. He got right over the top of Wendell Sailor as John Lang looks on.
What they want to check what he's got inside his shoes, that bloke. He's Australia's next entrant into the Olympic Games for high jumping. He just took off out of the clouds. And he's just came back from had his head zipped up. He's in form, this kid. He wants to win a premiership bad.
So the Broncos inside their 20. And Sailor, one of the leading hit-up merchants in the Telstra Cup in '97. Langer. Mundine, the inside pass to Smith. Mundine again, just probing, looking for half a hole to exploit. Lockyer. Rogers takes it 30 out from his own line. Brisbane have made a change to John Plath is on there, named in the hooking spot earlier in the week, but everyone suggested it was just a ploy from Wayne Bennett. It turned out that way. Plath comes off the interchange bench. The Mr. Fix-It man, they call him with the Broncos, but it is Cronulla now. And Stevens, the only player in the Cronulla team that's got any grand final experience. 60 seconds in '93 before he broke his thumb.
That's a lot, isn't it? But gee, I thought Cronulla were a little bit fortunate. That last fifth tackle, the referee warned 3 or 4 of the Cronulla players that they were well inside the 10 metres. They didn't get back, neither of the guys that took the warning, but they weren't penalised. A little bit of fortune going, but I suppose you've got to pat the referee on the back. There's probably been half a dozen times Brisbane have been offside. He's creating a flowing game.
Richardson plays it. There's Peachy with the kick. But Lockyer is back there. And offloaded to De Vere. Well, throwing the football inside their own 10 metres. It came off for them.
Oh, Sailor just had to pop that ball to Renouf, and they had a 2-on-1 straight away on Rogers.
And now John Plath moves into the dummy half roll. Kevin Walters would probably go out to his traditional 5'8" spot. Penalty to Cronulla.
You've got to stand up with the ball. Mate, you've got to stand up with the ball in your possession. And the ball just went out there.
Well, he's obviously complaining that he didn't have the opportunity to be able to stand up. He felt that a couple of the Cronulla players were holding him down. The roll the ball between the legs. There certainly was an arm around the back of the head, but he's got to take the rap over the knuckles. Everyone's got to play by the same set of rules, and that's happened 2 or 3 times in the game. The opportunity now, halfway through the first half, of the scores to be evened.
I don't think he actually tried to even play the way. He couldn't even get up there, and I think he's got a fair case at answering there, Wally. And I agree with Gordon Tallis. He was actually held down by Mitch Healy, and E.T. was standing in front of him.
Tallis now has to look on, as Matt Rogers tries to even the score here at the ANZ Stadium in Brisbane.
I don't know about you blokes, but Brisbane seem to me to be playing a very one-out game. They're not trying to be expansive at all tonight. They're not trying to be adventurous. Usually we know the Brisbane Broncos throw it around at every opportunity. They've been, I'd have to say, a little bit negative tonight.
Yeah, it looked to me, Pete, that they've got a real plan that when they're in their 30-metre zone or 20-metre zone, they're not taking too many risks that they normally do. They just toss it across the field in every other club competition games. It seems that they're playing via a pattern that they're not going to take mistakes in an area that they're going to be very expensive if they go wrong.
Matt Rogers, the 21-year-old, Queensland Tri-Series rep this year. The radar is online. First shot at goal, first points for Cronulla, so it is 2-all in the 97, the inaugural Telstra Cup Grand Final. Matt Rogers only 21, 534 points in 3 seasons. I tell you what, if his dad was a great, I think Matty might be well and truly on the way to surpassing him.
He sure will, and not only has that score, that goal, even the scores, and given his teammates a lot of confidence, but it has now put the pressure back on the Broncos. They're going to grab the ball around about their goal line and perhaps get out to around about the 20-metre line, but they're not going to be able to turn over possession. The pressure's going to be right on them.
Inside their own red zone again, the Broncos from the kickoff. G will play it back to Plath. Brad Thorne. Stevens tried to line him up. Thorne luckily evaded him. Now it's Saylor looking for plenty of action tonight, the big winger. But driven back by the Cronulla Sharks. Thrown into the turf onto the 30-metre mark. Tallis. Trista went low. He's a good defender, Dean Trista. Peter Ryan. They don't come any tougher than the second rower from the Darling Downs. Lockyer. So again, Peter Jackson, a little unadventurous tonight. And now they put the ball dead.
Yeah, I think Wayne Bennett knows that Johnny Lang and the Cronulla side are prepared for an arm wrestle, and I think he's prepared his players for that. I think if Brisbane try to play their expansive game, they get put under a little bit of pressure. They're prone to make mistakes. That opens up opportunities for Cronulla. So that's the reason I think he's probably playing a little bit negative, particularly at their end of the field.
Well, here's a turnover. This could be very expensive for them.
Yes, on the first tackle, Cronulla have coughed it up. Now they've stolen it. But the whistle is gone. Green was away. The little legs were pumping. He had Brad Thorne charging down on him. But it was to no avail.
And did you see who it was? It was Gordon Tallis, I believe, the man that was there. He must have been thinking, oh, no, not again. I've just given away a 2-pointer. Now the ball's been taken off me. This is going to be tough, but there's 2 or 3 men in the tackle. There was no doubt about they had, well, you can see Paul Green. He just about pulled the keys out of his pockets to grab that ball and take off, but it would have been pretty expensive. He won't do any bragging, though, Paul Green. He's been caught by a front rower and a dash to the line.
And G gets a spell. Tallis gets a breather. Sorry, Peter, Tony Carroll. That's not a bad replacement to come on from the interchange bench.
Another interesting thing about the way they're playing tonight, normally Alfie, he likes those quick taps. On both occasions, decided to go for the 2. So they know they're in a pressure game tonight, the Brisbane side.
Showing plenty of respect for their opponents, the Cronulla Sharks at Lockyer. Ended one earlier. That looks good again. Brisbane in a real arm wrestle here. Lead by 4 points to 2. So again, the pendulum swings the way of the Brisbane Broncos. Their injured front rower, Glenn Lazarus, looks on.
Wouldn't they love to have him out there? He's played in 4 grand finals and won 4.
They don't come any better than that.
tell you what, his replacement's done a great job in Webke. He said he wasn't going to start the game. He had Plath on the bench, but he's come on and they did exactly what they did a couple of weeks ago. Just take him on the forwards, and then things will open up later on in the game.
So Stevens is there as Davo gets a rub down. Ryan standing wide. It's not unfamiliar to see second rowers out wide in the modern game.
Well, he's dropped that ball. He's dropped that goal.
Harrigan says play on. He didn't get a call from the touchy either.
I don't think he needed one. He could have done it himself.
Now it's Ryan up over halfway. Plath just managed to hold on and put him off balance. Green looking for the gap between De Vere and also Lockyer. De Vere picks it up a couple out from his own line. It's a good chase by Chris McKenna.
I think if I was the Brisbane side now, be trying to turn the ball back inside again, try and catch him on that inside, because the Cronulla side really is starting to slowly stop coming up on that blind, go a couple wide now to the right, then come back down inside the blind side.
And what they've also got to do, Gary, is get off the ground a little bit quicker. Cronulla are far the better team at getting off the ground quickly. Their dummy halves are able to sprint 10 metres and catch them on the back foot. Brisbane are really struggling to get away from their own goal line.
Langer back to run off from a standing start. Taken by McKenna as Kevin Walters moves into dummy half, back to the little general Langer to tell us he throws a dummy. Green just holds on short of the halfway. Langer.
This is a great chase here.
And into touch. Bell could probably hear the hooves pounding down behind him, and he allowed it to go into touch.
See Alpha here just jumping out of the dummy half area and getting to kick the ball on the right-hand side. But what about the chase here by Smith and De Vere? They put plenty of pressure on Bell, but he did the right thing. Let the ball go over the sideline. You see Sean Ryan come and have another rest now for a couple of minutes, and then he'll get back out in the fray.
Mate, I don't think there's any real surprise. Alf's running game that he's carrying that injury. Normally, in a grand final like this or a pressure match, we would have seen him run probably 10 or 15 times.
So it's Paul Green. 19 out from the Cronulla line.
The injury's probably a G up too.
Luring them into a sense of false security. Danny Lee driven back in the tackle. The Sharks still inside their own territory. Their best scoring opportunities have been from a couple of Mitch Healy kicks.
Well, that's what they're known for, aren't they, Greg, really? Because they go forward so well with their forward back, put the ball in there. I think that's what they've got to do more, put more pressure under Lockyer, or maybe a little short kick over the back.
Right on the halfway mark. Green got away from Langer. Well, that wasn't a great kick, and they've made a mess of it. It's still lying loose on the ground.
Blue knocked it on. Red did not play at the ball. There's a change over here to them.
There's a little bit of argument there from the Cronulla players, and I must say it was a little bit of a dodgy one. The ball was on the floor, and not too many people were all that keen about diving on it. Possession coming Brisbane's way, and they got it in a pretty handy position as well. They've got the situation where there's just over 10 minutes to go. This is the part of the game that's going to be very expensive for a team that makes a bad mistake. Tellis moved to the sideline for a breather. Cronulla failing to get a decent kick away on the fifth. Brisbane trying to make them pay for it. 30-metre mark. Plath dummy half. Langer. Lockyer. More than all tackle from Richardson. Came out the back door, play on. Now it's Alan Langer. Langer throwing dummies. Treaster and also Stevens didn't fall for them. Now it's Kevy Walters with the kick. Straight out to Wendell Saylor, and he's into touch.
He took it out, 5 and last changeover.
Big effort by Wendell to try and keep it in the field of play.
I think it's something that Brisbane have got to turn around their kicking game. I think Cronulla have got the far superior one when it comes to putting pressure on from their kicks. We've seen a couple of wonderful bombs or cross-field bombs from the Sharks when they've been at that end of the field. And let's face it, they haven't been down there all that often. Brisbane have been at the other end quite a bit, but their kicking on that last tackle really hasn't been something that's going to be providing a little bit of doubt in the mind of the man trying to catch the ball.
Denny Lee to Peachy. Green. A metre from halfway. Nikau. Ryan is back there. He's had a spell on the interchange bench. Back into the thick of it now.
I think what you'll find, Tony Carroll has gone down injured in the back.
To the short side. Healy with the kick. Lockyer offloads to Saylor. The chasers were pretty keen to give him a taste of the ANZ Stadium turf.
Well, there it is again. They're just having a little bit of trouble. Normally the Broncos would shift the ball, get it 2 quick passes wide and start to attack the defence out a little bit wider. They have had 3 tackles now, or 2. The first one was free, of course. They've had it there and they really hadn't moved much more than a millimetre forward.
Webke. Danny Lee and Davidson. Ryan the tacklers. From dummy half goes John Plath. A couple of the big men had made the tackle. He tried to catch them napping as they were...
Oh, she's on now.
Tempers flaring.
I think what you'll see in there, Clark, is a couple of little headbutts.
Hey!
Well, Plathy's picking on a bloke that's 14 times as big as he.
Hey, get apart!
And can fight.
Get him
Yeah,
apart!
Oh, how scary is that?
I saw him knock out Jason Stevens once at Shark Park. He's not a good bloke to take on, Les Davidson.
Yeah, watch Johnny Platt go forward here, just in there with Danny Lee. Oh, right there. Oh, and again, thank you very much. I mean, Les Davidson, he's into him. Well, Davo, he wants to play. He wants to win this grand final badly. He don't care who he's got to take out.
Well, I reckon he's got to go, Les Davidson, for that. He had no right to come in and start throwing punches there.
That's what I saw. See, so I'm going to put the whole tackle on report. All right?
Well, the whole tackle on
You're in the
report.
tackle? Oh, you'll be exonerated then.
Exactly.
I don't think so.
He wouldn't care at the moment. He could get 6 weeks break. He'll have the toes up, having a good time sitting at home reading the papers, asking the missus to bring in a cup of tea and a sandwich. It's the grand final that they're playing for. They don't care who they upset here tonight.
They still have the Visa Club Challenge to come, Cronulla, but that's a long way off, according to Les Davidson.
So with these next couple of tackles, Greg Clark, they're going to be very, very interesting to see how high they do come up above the shoulders.
They're inside the last 10 minutes of the first half, and it's Brisbane leading by 4 points to 2. It's crucial for Cronulla to keep them there.
Blood bin.
Someone's been sent to the blood bin, and it's Danny Lee, yes. The claret is flowing.
He's going to try and stop and just get it padded and back on. Gee, I tell you what, if he goes, he nails him back on with that, he's got a tap on his nose. Afraid he's into the panel beating shop.
Stevens didn't get much of a break.
There's a play on here off Kebby Walters. Watch for this one. They've been organising the Broncos.
Thorne will play it back to Plath. Time on again. Walters goes wide to Renouf. The inside pass to Lockyer. Quick play the ball. Renouf. Walters to Ryan. Stepping off the right foot. Trying to find a way through. Real pressure on the Cronulla Sharks now. Can they hold out the Brisbane Broncos? Walters. Davidson ran into the passing lane, so he couldn't offload. There's the kick from Alan Langer. Pressure on Rogers. He's left it behind. It's been picked up, and the Broncos are in for the first try of the inaugural Telstra Cup Grand Final. They're on their feet. The pressure was too much for Matt Rogers. The chase was good. The Broncos are in for a 4-pointer through Renouf.
I remember saying just a couple of minutes ago that Brisbane's kicks hadn't been all that flash. Well, there'll be somebody chasing up the stand here about to tell me and make me eat the program here. It was a wonderful jump from Wendell Saylor that had managed to put the program to put the pressure on, Gary.
It certainly was. And what he did, he got up high enough to get the ball back. It bounces beautifully into Renouf, who was covering him behind. Lockyer was there. Peachy comes across in vain and just misses it. And aren't they very happy with that?
But I tell you what, you've got to give some credit. Have a look at the amount of Cronulla players that get across there. There are 5 of them, 4 of them, I'll learn to count one day, that get across there to be able to do that. They've covered around about 20 metres to get across there. They almost had more than Brisbane did. They were certainly pretty keen to stop that try, but there were a couple of Brisbane blokes that were probably a little bit more keen to put 4 more points on the board just over 5 minutes out from the bell.
Renoff, the 27-year-old, who broke his jaw in the Tri-Series earlier on this year. The soul-searching goes on in the Cronulla. In goal.
Well, this is where it's tough for Cronulla. They've been playing hard footy for this first 30, 35 minutes. All of a sudden they're down 8-2. This is where it comes in. This is where the intentional fortitude comes in. This is where you find out whether you're a good player or a great player.
The Broncos have some big match exponents out there. One of them is Renoff. The kick from Lockyer. It's there! 3 from 3 for Darren Lockyer. Wendell Saylor really had a hand in that try. He put the pressure on Rogers.
He certainly did, but what Alfie did, they all held off him, as Wally was saying. The Cronulla players get around him. Matt Rogers actually touched the ball there. He was complaining that Saylor had actually knocked it forward, but it wasn't true. And Renoff is right on the spot, Johnny on the spot, and goes over for a very good try with 5 minutes to go in the game, in the first half.
Now it's Nikau, and it's very important, crucial that the Cronulla Sharks don't make an unforced error here. 15 out from their own line. They need to regain some composure. By no means out of this one.
Probably just important Brisbane don't panic and give away a silly penalty here. They've got the opportunity to be able to turn things around. Even if they can't post a try, they've got the chance to be able to get another 1 point on the board for a field goal. They'll be a fair way out. But if they give away a penalty, it's certainly going to give Cronulla the ball deep within Brisbane's territory.
Great run from Greenhill. Nikau injecting himself into the movement and offloading well. Healy goes to the air. Lockyer takes it. He was unsure at a moment. I think he lost the sight of that ball, but took it in goal, so it's a restart back on the 20, and Saylor quick to get things going again.
Just from news from the sideline, Tony Carroll got a pinched nerve in his shoulder. We'll be back in the second half. Danny Lee has got a cut above his nose. Thanks very much to Johnny Plath's head, and that's getting stitched up. He'll be back later as well.
Tellis makes it to the halfway. Thorne. Plath at dummy half. Langer. Allowed to run again. They're not moving up to him. Now he offloads to Mundine. Davidson was over the top and Treaster underneath to wrap him up.
He's trying to fight the big fella. Lee's trying to take on. Turn that up.
No, he's trying to take on Jason
Stevens it is.
And he's a Christian. He won't throw punches.
He's going to have a victory.
John Lane.
Our picks the Christians because they know they won't fight back.
I tell you what, one thing Cronulla are doing well with Alfie, that every time he does run, they're making sure that they tackle him, put him on the ground, and get him out of the next phase of play.
Cronulla parked inside their own half. 15 from halfway. 3 minutes remaining the first half. 8 points in it. Green, Healy to Richardson. Fingertip control from the young man.
Well, there was a backline play there. They had 3 backs trying to run the ball. There's got to be a little bit more composure. They've got to try and make sure the organisation is better.
Great friend from Nikau. Fenn back to E.T. Hasn't seen much possession tonight, Andrew Eddinghausen. Switch of play. E.T. gets the kick in. Lockyer 10 out from his own line. Davidson. De Vera dummy half. Thorne got back there.
That's great work from a big second row and front row when he's playing here tonight. To get back there and take that second play up after the fullback has fielded the ball in.
What made Bradley Clyde famous, that ruck.
So it's the Broncos. Still inside their own half. Still being driven back in tackles by Cronulla. But still in front, and that's the main thing. Mundine. Treaster has him around the legs. Greenhill around the shoulders. Johnny Plath steals 6 or 7 metres. Swinging arm over the top. From Nikau. He gets a warning on the run from Harrigan.
Just play the ball. Come on, play the ball.
Well, he's offside a mile, Paul Green.
That's Lockie got the kick in.
That's a big kick. That's gone 55 on the fly. It'll pull up about 70.
And now it's Peachy. One of the best kick returners in the game, but the chase was a good one.
Well, the best thing the Brisbane side can do now is get off the tackle play as quick as possible. He's dropped the ball.
Brisbane will get another crack at them in the first half inside the last minute. They lead by 10 points to 2. Langer, if he scores, then they will
pull this joint down.
Here. Cronulla desperate to hold on, to hold them out until the half-time break. Walters dummies on the inside, has a go on his own. The gap soon closed. Plath, Mundine to Thorne. Brad Thorne, it's on the ground and Cronulla survive. For the time being anyway. They have it through Sean Ryan. Davidson. Healy.
It wasn't terribly smart play from Brisbane on that occasion. They were tending to just throw the ball around and run one out, do what you can, rather than just settle down, give up one play just so that you could get some organisation or perhaps even look for the 1 point from the field goal.
Well, the big thing is Alfie's out of play, and that's what they've been doing so well. He's carrying that injury, he can't get to the second play. A bit of push and shove there at the end of the game there, with Platt and Treester again. The boys are holding up, Wally.
It's only about the 8th one he's been in so far, Plathies.
And yes, look at Greenhill going off. And Stevens, hold on, look at this. I'll tell you what, it's going to be all on, surely. The referee will have to take control here. He's getting between them.
He's been like that since he was a kid, Plathy. I've won him earlier in Brisbane, but he's done it very well. A smile on his face, though. He's the happy one leading the field at half-time.
So it's just one try in the first half, but a real arm wrestle. Brisbane leading by 10 points to 2. Bit of a shower falling here at the moment. That might cool things down. I hope you're enjoying our coverage of the inaugural Telstra Cup Grand Final from ANZ Stadium. 10-2, Brisbane over Cronulla. We're in for a great second half. Don't go away. Earlier on tonight, they had some celebrations in the Penrith dressing room in the under-19. Penrith beat Auckland 22-18 in reserve grade. The Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs beat the Auckland Warriors 40 points to 12. And as the Cronulla Sharks come out to face the most important half of football in 1997, they will be wondering just how they can get back at this Brisbane side. The gap is only 8 points. Nikau tried to involve himself in that first half. Peachy put under a bit of pressure from the kick and the good chase by the Brisbane Broncos. The rain falling here at ANZ Stadium. Come true. It was a hectic opening half 40. That's what we were promised and that's what we got. Treester.
I'll tell you what, both teams really, Treester there, he'll be even fired up, having a bit of a chat to Platt when they walked off the field. Both teams have averaged around about 4 missed tackles per team, Brisbane and Cronulla. Handling errors are pretty similar, 3 to Brisbane and 5 to Cronulla. Time in their own half though, Greg, that's the big difference. 25 minutes Cronulla be in their own half and only Brisbane in theirs for 15. Tell you what, John Langby saying something about their control of the ball.
We saw the Brisbane Broncos dressing room before. I know the coach Wayne Bennett has many favourite sayings. One of them, anyone who says playing in a grand final and winning isn't one of the best feelings of all hasn't played in one. And that's a simple message to his troops at half-time. Stay in front, go on with the job. We're underway, the second half of the inaugural Telstra Cup Grand Final. And it is the first touch of the ball for the Brisbane Broncos. And De Vea has tackled 10 metres out from his own line.
The rain really starting to come down now. Puts a lot more pressure on the Brisbane control of the football in this first set of 6. They've got to make sure that they just get it out there for 4 or 5 tackles, get a good field position and try and kick into one of the corners. The most important thing they've got to come up with here is to try and get to the centre of the field so they've got options. They can kick right or left.
Sideliners Peter Jackson and Jacko earlier in the week. Wayne Bennett wasn't too happy about the use of new footballs in the grand final, and with slippery conditions, that's even going to put more pressure on the side players.
Yeah, we saw a wild pass from Kevin Walters there and a pretty ordinary kick from Darren Lockyer. Actually, I think the Broncos have, and Wayne Bennett particularly, need a wrap. He summed this up pretty well. He knew the conditions were going to be a little bit slippery. He prepared his side for an arm wrestle against a team who probably arm wrestles better than most in any competition. and they're coming up trumps. They're 8 points ahead at half-time, and the rain's coming down. So I think he's worked out his tactics pretty well, Bennett, this week.
But that was a poor start to the second half by the Broncos, kicking out on the full after the wild pass, and it's good field position for the Cronulla Sharks, and they go wide. Matt Rogers tried to get through Renouf and also Sailor. And to the short side goes Nikau, standing back to Rogers. He has to take the tackle, only about 5 metres out from the line. A try here is going to really set this grand final well and truly alive. That's a bad pass, though, went behind Eddingshausen, and Eddingshausen hasn't had good possession all night. They've either shut him out of it, or certainly the play hasn't gone his way. Now the bomb from Green. Sailor, he takes it in the field of play, and he gets it back to Renouf. Walters waits for it a dummy half. Thorne got rid of a couple of them. Big Brad Thorne. But they're still inside the red zone. Tallis. One out stuff at the moment. Trying to settle things down after that dodgy set of 6 earlier on. Langer to Smith. Taken by Stevens. G. Walters finds Langer. Langer just punching it down into the corner, picked up by Peachy. The incumbent Australian fullback, hoping he holds his spot ahead of his opponent tonight, Darren Lockyer. Here's E.T.
Oh, great tackle there by Renouf. Unbelievable, right around the bootlaces. That was tremendous to watch, as Rogers goes for a dart out of dummy half.
Green finds Nikau. He needs to have players running off him. He finds Richardson. Looking for the quick play, the ball to the short side. Stevens, the inside pass to Treester.
And it was very well covered from the Brisbane markers. That's the only area that they've got cut a little bit short. The marker's been a little bit lazy in the chase across for the turn-in pass.
McKenna ducked the head, tried to burrow his way through that defence, but Webke was there with G. Webke put a bit of pressure on Healy, but Healy got the kick in. Sits up on the 10-metre mark. Sailor to Lockyer, Lockyer to Sailor.
Oh, good.
Not a great pass inside their own red zone. They may pay for this one. They will. Oh, a bad mistake by the Broncos, and the Sharkies are in there. Harrigan checks with the touch judge, moves to the spot, signals the try. What a start to the second half by the Cronulla Sharks, and what a mistake to make it by the Broncos.
But I thought that the first mistake wasn't the one that went to ground. I didn't see any real reason for the first pass to be made. Wendell Sailor's got the ball. He had 30 metres of territory. He could have ran to grab it, threw it across. He got the ball back eventually, but there was no need for him to throw the ball across field there. I tell you what, it would have been interesting to see what would have happened if that ball hadn't have gone to ground, whether he actually would have given a penalty try.
Well, I think it could have been a penalty try, but you see them trying to get outside, and they're playing really, sunshine football. It's wet weather, it's night-time, boys. I don't think Wayne Bennett will be very happy with this whatsoever. But what a great chase by the Cronulla side there. Bell puts his on his foot there. De Vere comes up with a mistake. Oh, I'll tell you what, Wayne Bennett will be fuming. But a very good try there to Richardson.
Interesting to see just where he was, Richardson, how far he was behind the player that actually put the little tap to the ball to put it there. It must have been fairly close.
Oh, it's a good kick from Rogers as well. 10 points to 8 in the rain at ANZ Stadium. The Broncos have been set back on their hooves early in the second half, but they still have the lead by 2.
You wouldn't believe it. I was just about to say Brisbane aren't going to lose this game. Cronulla are going to have to win it. But it's happened. Wendell Sailor, what happened? He had a brain explosion. No need to throw that first pass. You're exactly right, Wally, let alone the second one. He's got to get in there and make up for it now. We've got a football game in our hands, boys.
And now it's Thorne. 19 out from his own line. G.
And still, Greg, I still maintain that Brisbane, I know they keep going to the open, but they've got to turn the ball back inside here. And they'll catch Cronulla because they are definitely not moving up on this outside.
Tallis plays it. Back to Thorne. Brisbane have had the upper hand for most of this match, so this will really test their composure now. They know they are in a grand final showdown. Bell.
Oh, great kick.
Oh, he's left it behind. Now, Brisbane get the chance to reply.
Look at the blind side. Oh, they've gone the wrong way. Cronulla had one player on the blind side. Brisbane had 4.
And it was ET that charged up out of the line to shut Mundine down. But a bad mistake by Cronulla. In wet weather football, possession is the key. And now it's field position for Brisbane. Langer to Mundine to Renouf. He has to cut back in field. Got it back to Walters. Walters jinking and jiving. Langer's left it behind. They'll play the knock on.
Well, there's mistakes galore out there now. Plenty of pressure on everybody now to control the ball, but Bell on that tackle, just let the ball go. They were very lucky that they get punished straight away, and Alfie comes up with a rare mistake. Unusual to see him drop the ball.
Cronulla. Can they hold it for a set of 6 this time? Let's get a word now from the Brisbane Broncos football manager, Bob Cutmore. And Bob, that was a poor start to the second half. How are the nerves?
The nerves are not too bad, Kenny. The beauty of the first half was we didn't make that many mistakes, and neither did Cronulla, so they're both playing good grand final football, but it's just a pressure situation now. We've got to withstand it and build up the pressure again and hopefully force Cronulla into another mistake. We should have capitalised on that last set of 6, but we didn't, so that's part of the game.
What was the mood like in the dressing room?
A few nerves, but we know we've got a job to do. We've come here to do the job. Hopefully we'll succeed.
Okay, well, good luck with the remainder of the 97 Telstra Cup Grand Final.
Thanks very much.
They have it by 2 at the moment, 10 points to 8. They've had some great battles over the years, these two sides. Since Brisbane came into the competition in 1988, they've clashed 16 times. Brisbane have won 11, lost 5, but it's 1-1 in the final series. And now the penalty again goes to Cronulla for discretion in the play the ball area.
Well, I don't know how you saw that one, but I don't know. When he gets up here to play the ball, there's a little hand in there by Greenhill once again. Oh no, he just drops the ball. That's a scrub. It's a dead set scrub, not a penalty.
That's the part that I couldn't understand. If you get up and you knock the ball on,
it's a
scrub,
mate.
He's ruled that he's played the ball forward. That's what he's ruled, but he hasn't done that at all. He's just knocked it on.
He's kidding.
Well, the Sharks get another sniff at good field position here inside the red zone. Danny Lee, that head gash hasn't affected him. He's still taking it forward. In front of the uprights now, he plays it. Green, a planned move to Greenhill. Greenhill is taken, and Trista waits for it. Green, the little general, to Nikau. On to McKenna. McKenna inside to Bell. Bell taken there by Langer.
Great tackle by Langer.
Peachy at dummy half. Green. Lob passes. Richardson, the try scorer. Got it out to E.T. E.T. with the kick. The chase is lying loose in the ground. Brisbane have it though.
What about the cover by Lockyer and Renouf and Saylor? They're getting back, putting his body in front of the play, the ball. And Lockyer comes up with that ball.
Tallis now, settling run. They need one. And it's a good one.
That's a great run. They know that they've got to play some simple football now. Look to the skies and see that it's wet. They've got to play smart football in the wet conditions. It's going to be selfish, but they've got a grand final to win. They've got to do it correctly.
Webke, 10 from halfway. He's lost the football.
It's against you. There on top again.
That's another one.
He's got to get his foot on it.
Well, the off-season's going to be...
I get him off. They're going to come up with the ball in their hand. They're trying to play too quick, Alf.
Well, you heard it.
He said that he's tried to get up too quickly. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. He simply just put the ball down. Now, Green should be the one that's penalised there for picking the ball up in the ruck. The ball is deemed to have got to be cleared the ruck before the marker can actually run. He has picked the ball up in the metre that's between the man playing the ball and the marker himself. Perhaps Harrigan, well, he obviously does know a hell of a lot more about rules than I do, but
that's why he's out there, Wally.
Agree that. But you saw it, he picked the ball up in the ruck.
I mean, it should have been a scrum at worst, not a penalty.
And so should have been the last one.
Well, it's 10 points to 8, and it's play on. And they're 11 metres out. The Sharks, Green, Nikau. Good tackle to wrap him up around the shoulders by Renoff. Underneath, it was Walters. Dykes is out there. Adam Dykes at dummy half. He's had a great season, coming off the interchange bench most times. E.T. Richardson. The Cronulla Sharks really pushing it now. It popped out the back door. It's play on, the final tackle. Healy with the bomb. Who's got it? Sailor. The Broncos survived the onslaught, but only just. Ran off. 11 out from his line. Plath at dummy half to Mundine. It was an easy target for Healy.
Well, again, this is just great work. Sailor getting right in behind everybody else, watching the ball come down. Then he goes on the ball. That's tremendous work by the Brisbane side.
Lockyer, the clearing kick.
Straight down his throat.
Oh, and he's made a mess of it.
Oh, it's a knock-on.
Gets it into an optometrist.
Oh, he's dead set tip. Cronulla, Billy Harrigan.
Oh, that's a disgrace.
Well, I agree with all you blokes.
Turn that up.
That's 3 mistakes in a row that Billy's made.
And it's play on.
Oh,
It certainly is.
It went backwards off his first knock, and then they put the hand back to try and grab possession. But now,
Sailor's got it.
The big bloke seen it from above and turned it around.
Yeah, ship ahoy, it's Sailor away. They're on the halfway mark. Tell us the inside pass to Ryan. G. Good tackle by McKenna. Langer. And Walters. The general out to his lieutenant. They're standing flat-footed though. Mundine with a bit of go forward. And sideways at the same time. Plath. Tallis. The fend. The pass out to Smith. Richardson was right on top of him.
Well, there's not a lot of organisation there at the moment, is there?
Now it's Lockyer. They say, well, the next best thing is to go to the air, and Peachy takes it as they come charging in. He's lost it. They've got another set of 6, and they're only a metre or 2 out. They go wide. Lockyer. Renoff in the corner. Steve Renoff has got a double in the grand final at 97. The Sharks made the mistake. And one of the best finishers in the game has made them. Even more in front they are now.
Well, there it was. He came down, and simple pressure that was put on by Ryan was the thing that turned the possession over. They threw the ball wide. They had to score. The only problem was, of course, the handling in the wet conditions. As the ball went across the field, there it is. They've got 3 players to come on 1, 4 actually on 2 that got spread. He took it pretty well, I thought, Renoff, on that occasion. He certainly settled the ball. He had to stop his progress and make sure that he maintained it. Once he got going again, there's not too many people that'll pick him up with that speed.
I'll tell you what, the pass from Lockyer. I know E.T. just missed the tackle there. Unlike E.T. to miss any tackles, but the tackle that Ryan did on Peachy, what about that one? Absolutely cleaned him up, comes up with a mistake. You see Greenhill there with Johnny Lang, not looking very impressed at all.
Mate, I'll tell you something that we haven't given a fair rap to on that occasion, that bomb. Like, he kicked that probably almost twice as high as the goalpost here to put him under enormous pressure. He did remarkably well. Peachy to come down with the ball. He positioned him well, had a look at the defenders coming through, placed himself. He knew he had a bit of time, but the tackle from Ryan was the thing that really put the pressure on. It gave them possession. this kick at goal as well is a fairly interesting one. He's taken it back almost 30 metres. Way out wide. He needs to go back a little bit. In wet conditions, though, this certainly is going to be a super kick if he can put this one between them.
And Buck de Bronco doing the circumnavigation of the ANZ Stadium here. But all eyes on Darren Lockyer. Can he keep his 100% record? And he can! From almost 30 metres back, a metre in from touch, and it's 16 points to 8. And Peter Jackson has sort of evened things out a little bit. Wendell Sailor's mistake doesn't look all that bad now.
No, it takes special things to turn games like this, and I think that tackle from Peter Ryan was the turning point in this game. It was an absolutely massive hit on David Peachey. He spilled the ball, Renouf goes over the next set. I mean, that was a fantastic tackle. They'll be talking about that one at the Brisbane Broncos clubhouse tonight.
And isn't it wonderful to see that the game, we've got two young kids. I mean, they've virtually only been in first grade for probably 2 years maximum. They're slotting goals from the sideline in grand finals, handling pressure as well as any player that's ever played the game. A wonderful thing for any kid watching the game to look to these two.
Well, now it's Cronulla making another mistake. They're rattled at the moment, the Sharks. 31 years have been trying to win a grand final. And slowly but surely one senses that things may be slipping away. They have to regain their composure. And they really have to shut Brisbane down in this set of 6 now. The Broncos, well, they're moving up a gear in the wet weather.
Well, that was just a great catch by Walters, under a lot of pressure, and the ball was right down by his kneecaps. Tremendous work.
In front of the uprights, 18 metres out. Mundine to Walters. Walters to Lockyer. To Smith. Smith turning in the tackle, taken though by Lee. De Vere charging at the line from dummy half. Plath races in now. Walters wants to go wide to Mundine, to Langer. And Langer pops it out the back door. And Mundine gets the kick into the in-goal. Peachey with a lot of work to do to get out of there.
Excellent work. That's just grand final football, isn't it, Wally? Tremendous work done by all involved.
Yeah, it sure is, Greg. I think that the thing is that Mundine knew that he couldn't do too much there, did he? He could see that he had 4 or 5 blokes in front. He decided he just wanted to put the ball in the in-goal area. I'm not trying to make myself look like a hero and score from here. We'll get ourselves another set of 6 tackles.
And now it's Sailor. Allowed to run to the 30 before the defence got to him. And he still picked up another 4 or 5 metres with a couple of defenders hanging off him. G plays it. Walters, that looked to be a forward pass, but it's play on. And Renouf tried to scoop the ball in with one hand, looking for a hat-trick he was. Still lying loose on the ground. I think it may have come off Wendell Sailor, but they'll be called back.
Blue loosen feet here.
Gee, I tell you what, maybe I'm a little bit quick in making a judgment on it. I think that was a 4-pointer that's gone begging.
Well, it certainly would have been pretty close if the ball had stuck to Sailor then. Another attack was there. Cronulla 192. Well, that's the difference really. Cronulla missing 8 to Brisbane's 4.
Look at it here.
That was a forward pass, I'm pretty sure, to Kevin Walters from dummy half. It's lucky it goes straight through. As Renouf would have caught that ball, he would have scored a try for sure. Tony Carroll comes to the sideline with a bit of cut across the old eye.
Danny Lee. He had a cut in the eye in the first half, so plenty of blood flowing, Peter Jackson.
Yeah, it's been a tough game for the forwards. This one. It's been a real slugfest. There's nowhere to hide in the wet weather. Here goes Russell Richardson. ET's got to get in there and do something now. He's got 20 minutes to go in a grand final. 15 years he's been waiting to win one. He's got to get in there and inspire his troops.
And Hammerlock has been in that tackle. A super tackle coming up. Who gets Peter Ryan? He's the guy that's turned over 3 sets of possession for them now.
And now it's Thorne into the red zone. Brisbane have the lead and searching for more points now. 16 points to 8. They'll play it in front of the uprights. They can go left or right. Langer, the jinking run. They control him though. Harrigan says final tackle on the way to the short side. The little kick into the in goal. Rogers, he passes to Peachy in the in goal. A dangerous manoeuvre.
It was dangerous, but I've got to give him a little bit of credit there. I think he knows himself that he was no chance at all of being able to take the ball out of the in goal area himself. I think he had a little bit of a look around. He couldn't see that there was any other Broncos even close. I guess he didn't believe that the one man that was going to make the tackle on him was about to back up, put his hand in the air, ran off and say, I'll get the two of yous.
So 19 minutes remaining. The Telstra Cup Grand Final on Fox Sports.
This is their third set of 6-2. Might be ready to break the Cronulla side.
I think they're doing it the right way too, Bree. They're taking it straight up the middle. They're giving themselves options of being able to run both sides of the ruck.
They go to the open this time through Langer and Lockyer. Lockyer looked on the inside, couldn't link up with the support. Darren Smith from dummy half. He's 10 metres out to the right of the uprights. Langer through Mundine to Ryan.
He's called the pass forward.
So the scrum's going to pack down. About 11 or 12 metres out from the Cronulla line.
Oh, jeez, I tell you what.
I thought there was play on.
No in the world that's gone forward.
Well, that's the 20-metre mark where Jeff Bell is playing it. Healy now. McKenna. Possession going Brisbane's way, time in their own half. Cronulla, that's a bad statistic for the Sharks. They need to correct that. They've made far too many tackles, and that will take its toll late in this match as well. But I guess the good thing there, Gary and Wally, is the fact that they have been playing football throughout the final series in Brisbane as the minor premiers. They've only had to play the one match, so Cronulla will be hardened. There's a good midfield bomb, but a good take also from Lockyer.
What about the cover from Darren Smith? They got right in front of Richardson coming through, put them all out of the way, and let Lockyer have a free shot at that ball. That's tremendous work there by Smith.
You've got to give Cronulla a real pat on the back, though. When Brisbane have tried to shift the ball, they've always had three defenders to beat, and they've always, almost all night long, got pushed backwards 4 or 5 metres. I think they've pretty much covered Brisbane's strength of being able to shift the ball early in the tackle count.
Gordon Tallis.
Tell you what, they're running to danger, the Cronulla side, jumping out of that mark area, just flying out of the mark area all the time. I'll get caught too wide shortly.
Plath. Still 10 metres inside his own territory. Alan Langer with the check. The little chip kick, in fact.
You put the leg, you use the leg, and you went out on him.
Nicow, I think the man being penalised for using the leg to impede Langer's progress.
Well, if it's a trip, it's a very serious offence. No, just a little hip charge, really.
Hip charge.
Only a little one.
Only a little one. Nothing to worry about.
We haven't seen much of the kick and chase from Alan Langer either. It's been very successful for him and the Broncos again this season. Well, the Sharks should be pretty used to this. This is a familiar situation for them. The Broncos charging down on them, and Webke getting very close to the line.
How well
2 or 3
one?
metres out. Tallis. Ryan was over the top to lock the ball up. Langer. Wide they go through. Walters and Lockyer. Inside to Renouf. Renouf has got a hat-trick.
Beautiful positioning from Renouf. But he's not the only one that's going to get the pat on the back from that one, Greg.
But how good is he when it comes to finishing in big matches?
Just watching the ball going through the hands. He cuts back inside. ET gets slid wide. Left Paul Green inside there. He had no one to take there, Wally. What a great runner. Running into holes, Renouf is.
But he still had to beat 2.
Yeah, he sure did. I was a bit surprised by seeing that. Looked like it's Healy, the man that's been beaten, and the drop of the head. He's feeling pretty ordinary about it. A terrible time for him. But that was a wonderful pass back inside. I tell you what, ET did his best to hand out a nice chiropractic effort to him. Lockyer after he turned the ball back inside. But this man, he's got some raps from all of us here in the build-up to the game, from every other journalist in the country. But you've got to say that he is the most wonderfully positioned centre in the game of rugby league. Aims at a hole, runs into it. He's got the space between the ears as well that's full of common sense. He runs into it, runs into a hole, and makes sure that the man he's going to beat is probably one of the better ones. Again, I think we've got to point out that the guys that they said that they were going to try and target Brisbane when they're running the football were Green and Healy. On that occasion, they've managed to come up with a successful ploy.
So 14 tries now to run off. He scored a hat-trick tonight. Holds the club record for Brisbane. He scored 4 tries on a few occasions throughout his career. This time, the radar is offline. Lockyer can't convert, but gee, that's a handy scoreline now for the Brisbane Broncos as we have another look at it, Jacko. 20 points to 8.
Yeah, beautiful little drop up on the inside. Gets through Mitch Healy. No, he can't stop this bloke that far out from the line. Geez, I'm glad I wasn't playing when he was playing.
Might have been all right to put him on the outside of you, Jacko. You could have played inside centre.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to be on his side. That's what I was saying.
Now, it's a pretty important point here for Cronulla. They've got the ball. They can't afford to turn over possession. They've got to be able to get good field position and kick the ball. The Broncos, the first thing they'll be thinking about if they can get quick possession here, they're 12 points in front. If they can get a good field position themselves to put the one-pointer over and stretch the gap to 13 points, which would certainly demoralise their opponents.
So Nathan Long is on there. Nathan Long will be a permanent replacement for the Cronulla Sharks. The kick in behind Sailor, but he was able to get back and get up and return the football. What a run, Wendell Sailor! He's in the clear. Only Peachy to beat. Peachy slowed him. They came from behind. Now, there was no way that Sailor should have been able to make 1 metre, let alone all those metres we just witnessed. So it's Brisbane again.
He is so strong and dangerous in open field play. And he had Peachy there to come up with a good tackle. Oh, as Webke comes up with a mistake.
Gee, he got hit with a bell ringer on a tackle. That was a wonderful tackle.
We're going to play the original knock-on against Brisbane. That way,
Danny Lee came up with that tackle. Wally picked him up and threw him into the ground.
He certainly came charging onto the ball. Well,
was his tail wear a kneecap?
No, in fact, it was Mitch Healy.
Mitch Healy that probably felt a little bit guilty after that last one, but boy, he launched himself, took off, and it was a wonderful collision, given his side, or taken a hell of a lot of pressure off his teammates.
Russell Richardson! He can't control the football.
He tried to get that pass. That was a silly pass to try and get away.
The 20-year-old. Well, there was a rush of blood to his head. He's coughed it up, and now the Brisbane Broncos have another set of 6, 20 metres out from the Cronulla line. The inside pass to Ryan.
Well, he's called that pass forward. It was eventually knocked on, but Harrigan has called the pass forward.
Carroll looks on there with Tallis. Alan Langer wasn't happy with the decision, or maybe Langer wasn't happy with his option. Stevens comes to the sideline. He's been troubled with the injury for quite a few weeks now. Bit of a limp on there. Now it is Nathan Long, a man who missed a lot of football this year through injury.
Clarkie, I think it's very important for Brisbane. I mentioned about the field goal. I think it's very important they play selfish football from here on. Just over 10 minutes. What it would have more than anything else, though, is a hugely demoralising effect on your opponents. They know that even if they score 2 converted tries, they're still not in it. They're still behind.
You can't count, Wally.
What are we?
2 converted tries means they'll be 20 all.
Well, that's what I said. If they had a field goal, though, their opponents could score 2 converted tries. Jacko, you're the one that can't count. It'll be 21-20.
We all know that the Brisbane Broncos don't really favour having a shot at drop goals. But Alan Langer can put one over, so can Lockyer.
I think every time now the Cronulla side get the ball, they've just got to go wide. They've just got to try anything in the game. Being down by 20 points late, they've got to try and turn this around the next 10 minutes. And the only way to do that is really just open up and let the ball go wherever it's going to go.
Plath.
Yeah, I think someone's just repaying a debt on Plathy there, and he knows it too. A little bit of a wide smile on the face. He can afford one. He's in front.
38 out from their own line, the Brisbane Broncos.
Tell you what, the Brisbane forward back, they really put their hand up tonight, haven't they? They said, give us the ball, we'll go forward for you, Alfie and Kevy Walters. We'll make the hard yards.
G, right on halfway. Langer just got the kick in. Rogers being sent back, and it's going to end a touch.
I don't think even Alf thought that was going anywhere near the sideline when he kicked it.
Well, how good is he? I mean, look at him. He's just running back as if he meant to do that.
Yeah, he's been a Hollywood actor tonight. He's been a featherweight boxer, taking on heavyweights. 58,912. The ground record here, 62,000. That was at the 1982 Commonwealth Games. And the Broncos' ground record, 58,593. A match against St George in 1993. The last time
no means, so don't do anything silly, right?
the Broncos won a grand final, 1993. Cronulla, they have to chance their arm now. Richardson to Bell. 25 metres out from the Sharks line. Long. Peter Ryan lined him up. I was lucky it didn't really come off that tackle.
I think now Cronulla, they've gone too forward straight away. Let's go wide with the ball. Try and put Brisbane under some sort of pressure out wide.
Healy to Green. Nikau. Peachy. Rogers is taken. Dykes. Green. Eddingshausen. Inside pass to Bell. Paul Green. Sends Lockyer back towards his own try line. Lockyer! Away from an ordinary tackle by Rogers.
And Uranovka.
No, it was Alan Langer could have been there as well. He just thought, well, I can't catch it. Keep going yourself.
Wendell Saylor now. Up over halfway. Inside the last 10 minutes, Brisbane lead Cronulla by 20 points to 8. The halftime scoreline was 10-8. Cronulla bridged the gap. In fact, it was 10-2 at halftime. Cronulla bridged the gap to 10-8. The Pearl. Steve Brunoff has scored a hat-trick for Brisbane. Cronulla, well, they've fallen off too many tackles, haven't they? And the gaps are starting to appear now. Sloppy pass, though. Cleaned up by Walters. No, it isn't. Thorne is back there. And Denny Lee. There's the tackler. As Langer has it. Oh, that's a terrible pass by Alan Langer. Well, they've got the dropsies now. And Saylor is out there.
I got no advantage for blue. I'm going to play the original knock on.
Stevens, when he caught that ball, he's just thrown it out the back door. It's actually just a knock-on-a-thon here. No one really knows what's going on with the ball. It's knocked on there. Stevens gets the ball, throws it out wide.
Yeah, tell you what, have a look at Alf too. He's not doing it too well at the moment. He threw that ball. He dropped down straight after it. He's certainly hanging on. Obviously doesn't want to go off. Wants to walk off the grand final field as the winning captain rather than come off the bench.
It's Green. Nothing wrong with the tackle on that occasion from Alf and also Thorne.
Killer Carl Cox would have been happy with that one.
He's a little bit sick as Paul Green. He still hasn't got... He's just to his feet now.
Inside pass from Dykes, and it was on Sean Ryan, and Peter Ryan, the Terminator, was there to meet him.
The Terminator.
Dykes out to Greenhill. He needs support. There was no one there, really. Healy to Long. Long losing the footing, about 31 out from the line. Now it's Dykes with the bomb. It hasn't come off for them all night. It won't come off this time either. Lockyer leaps in the air.
Hasn't he been great tonight, Darren Lockyer? He's been close to the best. The other guy, Peter Ryan. You know, the amazing thing about Peter Ryan is he's not a big bloke.
No.
Get up beside him. He's not a big bloke at all, but he's got a heart the size of ANZ Stadium. He's really shook these Sharks up tonight.
I just wonder, Darren Smith again really got in the way of the player coming through to make the tackle. I wonder if it's actually impeding the runner, and that should be penalised.
Well, you've questioned the referee on a few occasions tonight, Gary Freeman.
Geez, you're a narc whiz.
You're kidding. Just stay on the sideline, will you? And we'll come to you.
35 metres out from the Broncos line.
Is it in the spirit of the game, Jacko? I would have done it.
Now it's Lockyer with the kick. Bit of a fumble, but it went back from Peachy this time. 10 out from his own line. 3 tries to 1, the Brisbane Broncos, 4-1 on. And Richardson taken by Michael Hancock.
His first tackle of the game.
And isn't it great to see Michael Hancock out there, along with Alan Langer? They are the only 2 players left from the initial Brisbane Broncos squad that took the park against Manly. And that was in 1988. Wally Lewis was there, and Michael Hancock is still there.
Yeah, he was a youngster in those days, came down from the bush. Spent a bit of time in Brisbane before he went away, but, gee, the strength of the bloke. He always had the record, of course, at the Broncos. In all the gymnasium work, he was by far the strongest man in the club. No one could get near him, including all the biggest forwards we had on board.
Mundine got out of a tackle, got away from another one, got the ball to Renouf. It's play on. Back to Carroll now, and Tony Carroll runs into Les Davidson. Not a smart move to run into Davo, but he had no option. Webke now.
Alfie's just come to the sideline, just having a little bit of a rest now.
Tallis, 21 metres out, inside the last 3 minutes. Walter's a dummy half.
Here it comes.
The 1-point attempt from Lockyer. Charge down, play on. Saylor. Saylor! Got it back to Lockyer. They're 9 metres out. They go wide now, Mundine. To Smith. Smith there. Hancock will get a try. Michael Hancock hasn't been on there for very long, but who cares? The fans don't. Hancock does it. Johnny Plath and the rest of the teammates don't. It's all over in 97 for the Cronulla Sharks. They're the bridesmaids once again, and the Brisbane Broncos started the year as favourites. They're going to finish number 1.
Gee, you've got to wrap up. Nathan Long was the guy that charged that kick down. Did wonderfully well to be able to get there. Brisbane simply shifting the ball wide. It came across. Cronulla struggling to get across in defence. Wonderful effort from Smith. He's been able to carry the ball in the right hand. Notice he's still got it in one claw. He's been tackled from the left-hand side. As he's falling, he's got 2 men, shifts it into 2, and simply gets it across. Probably the only one that you could really question whether it actually went forward half a centimetre or not. But he managed to get it across very, very perfectly.
Well, I just wonder why Jeff Bell actually wanted to come in and make the tackle on Smith. He should have stayed on his man. Richardson comes up, I think, with a great low tackle there. He's got him tied up. Then he comes in to help out. He should have stayed out. Michael Hancock goes over unopposed, and it's great to see him score a try in a grand final as a replacement. There was no need for Bell to come in, Wally.
Well, have a look at that. He's been on the field 2.5, 3 minutes, little Mickey. And he's come up with the tackle that pushed the man over the sideline that gave Brisbane the possession that they scored a try off within 6 tackles.
Yeah, 103 career tries now for Michael Hancock. Still only 27. He's been around for all those years. And Lockyer. 10 metres in for a touch. Struck it pretty well. Very well indeed. Another 2 points sets the Broncos into 26 now, 26-8. Jacko, she's all over at ANZ Stadium. And Gary Freeman, you picked it. Bell came in, and Hancock, well, he'll never score an easier try.
Well, he'd be very, very happy that he scored a try in the grand final. I think Jacko's actually gone to make some interviews already.
The crowd counting down here at ANZ Stadium. The Sharks were courageous They wanted to come out and put on a show worthy of the inaugural Telstra Cup Grand Final, but they weren't up to it on the night. The Brisbane Broncos, they won a Grand Final in 92 and 93, but this is the one that they really wanted. This is Super League, and Wayne Bennett named Coach of the Year on Thursday night. Another major to his list of credits. 26 points to 8. They led 10 points to 2 at half-time. The Brisbane Broncos will be celebrating tonight in front of nearly 60,000 fans. The Pearl, Renouf, Steve Renouf scored 3 tries. Hancock scored 1. The rest of the points coming from the boot of Darren Lockyer, a man we're going to see and hear a lot of in the future years. No joy for the Cronulla Sharks.
A great champion, a great captain. Could I call Alan Langer to the dais to collect the trophy?
First of all, I'd like to thank the Broncos side. It's been a great year. All our support staff, our coach Wayne Bennett, it's just been a fantastic year. Commiserations to Cronulla. They're a great side tonight, but there's only got to be one winner. It's just lucky we were. Second of all, I'd like to thank all our sponsors who supported us this year and stuck with us throughout the Super League war and the ARL war. So thanks to our sponsors. And most of all, thanks for all the crowd out there who supported the Broncos. Thank you very much.